Hello and welcome back to the Pedal Progressions podcast, where progression is the obsession. I am joined by Kellen Johnson, as always, and Craig Frazee, not Frazee.
He fixed it.
Frazee with his mustache. And I'm Brian Zajac, and we are part of the Michigan Mid-Pack production company. I'd like to tell you about our sponsors. Most importantly, this is our last night at the Taco Tuesday studio at Cannonsburg Ski Area. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for letting us be in a bunch of different rooms in here and interview guests after riding or workouts. And it really made our summer very memorable this year. KOM Cycling, komcycling.com. They've got Garmin mounts, they've got flat tire fix things, they've got a whole bunch of cool bike stuff, lights, mounts, GoPro mounts. PPP15, get the discount code, buy stuff from them, support a local business out of the Lansing area. 8th Day Gym, another sponsor. Brandon came with me today. We checked out the local talent and did a nice workout. Check out the Burn offer. It's $49 for unlimited classes for the month. It'll get you into shape quickly for bike season, and it'll be fun. Come beat a ginger. It will make your day better, I promise. Also, Building Blocks Foundation. You can check it out, buildingblocksfoundationinc.org. Big plans coming up for next year to expand out. We've gotten some grants, but we can still use the local donations to help serve people in the greater Grand Rapids area and help with speech. And one last thing before I turn it over to Craig. Congrats to Dakota. Dakota Norton, Grand Rapids native, won the U.S. Open after a horrific injury. But he won the Open. He's done amazing things to come back from a horrific injury on his dirt bike, and we couldn't be more proud of the local rider. Craig, why don't you tell us about some fun events?
Michigan for the win. Congrats, Dak. Okay, come hang out with us. We got our weekly Pedal Progressions ride. That's every Thursday. Typically, we do a 5 p.m. hot lap, so if you're a fast boy or gal, feel free to join in on that 5 p.m. send-off. I believe we have Luton coming up, and then we also have Richmond will be the following weekend, and we're hoping to have some timing gates out. So GR Race League OG members, you will be right at home. I think we're going to be timing some laps out there. Next up, Zwift season is coming. Make sure you get your setup dialed. Make sure you badger your friends that have old road bikes hanging out in the rafters that you can purchase for pennies on the dollar. You get yourself a Zwift hub, and you can have a better time than me on my transformed BS Peloton-looking thing with power meter pedals that doesn't adapt to hills.
Don't let him fool you. He's getting a new setup.
Don't go the route I did. It's bad. Power meter pedals with like a studio cycle bike is terrible, and it's a recipe to you not riding in the winter. So don't do like I did. You're running out of time to go smash some downhill laps at the Highlands at Harbor Springs. So the bike park is open until October 19th is the last day. So that weekend will be closing weekend. The weekend prior to that is going to be a costume party. We are working on plans to get the whole crew up there. Make sure you put it on your calendar, get up there, ride some downhill laps with us. It's a blast. And last and most importantly, we have bootleg. Some people might like go to this little race called Iceman, but bootleg is what it's all about. I'm just kidding. Make sure you get up to Traverse City and you support your friends who are racing Iceman. Heckle, hand them food, hand them beer, hand them cheeseburgers.
Shove it in their mouth.
Yell at them. Yell at them until your lungs give out. But then the next day, you got a downhill race at Copper Ridge. So it's the bootleg. Check out our Facebook page and our Instagram page for more details.
20 years.
It's a big one. And I hear it might be more of an enduro race than a downhill race. Exciting stuff. Kellen, where can they find us on the interwebs?
You can find us on Instagram at pedal_progressions_podcast. Our merch store is in the description. Everything you buy from our merch store goes right back in the podcast and makes it better. We love seeing all our stuff on you, so check that out and get stuff on you. You can also email the show at pedalprogressions@gmail.com. We love hearing from you. Send us suggestions, who you want to see, any questions for us. We're working on an episode to answer all your questions, so send them in.
And this week's guest was a suggestion from a fan, so it just shows. Give us a suggestion, and we will make it happen.
Yeah, this week we had Brandon Munson on. He was a fun guest to have on. Had a lot of laughs. We talk about how Brandon is a bigger, better, and hotter Brian. We also talk about how he blacked out in his first MMA fight, and how the spice rack aisle in the grocery store brings out the hot grandmas. We also talk about our top tier animal list. Spoiler alert, an octopus is on it. And we also talk about getting prison tattoos. So without further ado, here is Brandon.
Check, 1 2
There
1
you
2.
go.
Yeah.
It's good radio voice. Did you just turn that on?
Ladies and gentlemen, next up on stage we have Diamond.
So you worked in a strip club.
At the front door.
Has cinnamon.
Diamond, cinnamon, sprinkles, lavender, and chocolate.
Those are the names of your bikes?
Yes, of course.
Are they all cross country bikes or?
No, we got a fatty, a fatty and bike, and not a chick, but we cover the gamut.
It's just big boned.
I think it's
Your gamut compared to ours aren't going to overlap very much.
no. But
Your
I do
wild
have,
bike's going to be like one we don't own because it doesn't have enough travel.
I mean, we're topping out at about 100 front, 100 back.
Let's go through the fleet.
Nerd. Yeah, fleet entails. I picked up from Tyler Koenig a couple of years ago a nice salsa bear grease for my fatty.
Former guest.
Yep, I saw that on there. Problem with that one is it's had a flat for about a year and a half, and it pisses me off. So it kind of just hangs on the wall, looks good. Probably my favorite feeling bike as far as geometry. Also hanging on the wall for far too long is my race bike, so we can get into that a little bit later. But that's Cannondale Scalpel, and then I have probably what's been my favorite bike to mountain bike on in the last 2 years is my Trek Beater single speed with purple rims. Kind of nice. Makes me feel like a kid again. And then 2 gravel bikes. Gravel, we'll say. One's a cyclocross bike that's set up as my fast gravel bike, and then ended up winning a Warbird when I was down at Mid-South. So I have 2 gravel bikes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
No road bikes.
How does winning a bike occur? You must have won the race.
You know,
Courtney didn't. She won a bike.
No, I did not. I did not win the race because that was Mid-South. But I happened to be down there just having a good time with Mr. Matt Acker and Jill Martindale. And Salsa was one of the main sponsors. And I don't know if there was a little funny business going on there, but I got home and got an email, and I was like, dude, this has got to be fake. And all of a sudden, 2 days later, they called me, and they're like, well, pick out your bike. And I'm like, no shit. So, yeah.
So you think somebody might have bear greased the wheels then?
Bear greased the wheels.
Yeah.
And that lottery was magnetized for me, I guess.
That kid outside just ate shit and died. He just full face landed. His brother ran out to save him.
I think it's on Stasic too, the little kid strider bikes that they decided, well, normal, just putting your feet on the ground is not enough. We're going to put electric motors and batteries on it. But it's inspiring a generation of youth motocross riders.
Totally. They rip around my neighborhood like assholes. I mean, they're just 3-4 years old. I'm like, that's sweet.
Your bike collection completes us, I feel like. Because I don't think any of us own any of those bikes except I unfortunately have a gravel bike now.
I saw it hanging on the back of the car.
I thought it was fortunate. I thought you were excited about this, or you were sick of riding your mountain bike in gravel scenarios.
I don't like telling people that I'm enjoying it, but it's been pretty fun. If I could just dress like everyone else, it'd probably be better. But I'm like the weird guy in the baggy stuff, kind of trying to hang with the lead group, and it's a little awkward, but it's been kind of fun.
Yeah, don't be a spandex gravel bro.
Spando Commando.
Ooh.
That's what we call it.
All right. Gravel, you get to kind of like toe the line of like maybe like kid up top and like jean shorts down low. You can go spandex on the bottom. You can go cut off flannel.
I saw you had the KOM on the Cedar Blitz 18 course. We inadvertently got 10 and 11 last week on the B group fun ride with the stop signs.
Yeah.
So we were moving pretty good. The ride leader was like, oh no. It was just Rob Schaefer, myself, and then him, who's Rick.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, we're just going to keep it at like 16, 17. I'm like, there's no way in hell we're keeping it at 16. Like, I just knew by who we had in the group that it wasn't going to be that. And I was pushing the pace for like the first 3/4 of it. And then Rob got a bug up his butt and decided to like power back. We're going like 26 down Ritchie on the way back.
Oh, absolutely.
So we ended up getting back. I'm like, we got trophies on our like B ride tonight.
That group is amazing because anytime you go out, especially for like the Monday night ride, they're notorious for saying, this is a no drop ride. And then all of a sudden like Nick DeHaan shows up after he rode 150 miles and then they just take off at like 24 miles an hour. And I'm like, no drop. All right, cool. I guess this is how it's going to be.
I got dropped on the Saturday ride by former Purdue quarterback, Michael, it starts with an S.
Is that Seagard?
Yeah. He just showed up and just like, I was leading and I got out of the way and he surged and I was just like off the back, like, see ya.
Oh, he's strong rider. I didn't know he played football at Purdue.
Yeah. You played college football. I
did.
I heard on the Unpacking the Athlete podcast with Rob Martin.
Yeah. It's just Al Bundy. We're going to go back. I just was looking the other day. It's been about 22 years now, you know? So, yeah, still, like when people bring it up. I get
4 touchdowns?
I mean, 3. 3 in overtime. Game winner. No big deal.
Clutch. You're clutch.
Catch the ball, fall down.
And you went to high school in what, Petoskey?
I went to Petoskey High School, yep.
It's a big part of all of our lives since we spent so much time at Boyne Highlands. So we're very jealous that you got to grow up there.
It's come a long way in the biking world community. I mean, always a beautiful spot, you know, to get back to. Of course, when you're there, you know, growing up, you're like, get me the hell out of here. But now you do anything you can to get back, you know, and then especially with the Boynes and their riding. And I found some unmarked single track. Unmarked single track is always something Traverse City folks talk about all the time, and it's fun to make fun of. But yeah, there's some sweet trails outside of Boyne Highlands there in the back a little bit that I got to this summer, and that was pretty sweet. And then we were talking about Boyne School Forest. I mean, that's a ripper. That's a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
One of our super close friends, Adam Raphael, grew up in Boyne Falls, and he's got a bunch of like unmarked trails at his house off Slashing Road. It's like Slashing and Thumb Lake, the area. He's got like a pump track and jump trails, and he's like a stupid good dirt biker and stuff. But my only like riding up in that area is with basically him, and he would take me on all this like random crap, and it was either like the best stuff ever or a sand pit. Seemed to be the feel of the trails in that area.
The dirt profile is pretty unique for sure. If he's from Boyne Falls, he definitely rides in a flannel shirt cut off, though, and probably a dip in.
He actually does do all those things and beats pro riders in Crocs.
With not in 4-wheel drive, mind you. He leaves the Crocs in 2-wheel.
Non-sport mode.
He showed up to the downhill southeast. It was called something else at the time. From Michigan, driving there and back every weekend, and won the series and got a sponsorship from Kona. So he's like one of those athletes that he just gets on a bike and you watch him ride and you're like, God dang it. It's annoying that he can't breathe and he's dying, but he's still beating me.
He's a gamer.
We had the same situation last weekend. We did a group ride up at Boyne Highlands, and somehow we kept 16 people together, which was phenomenal with chairlifts. But in the front of our group, we had Lauren, former guest Lauren DeYoung on, and you just forget how fast like a UCI guy is compared. Like, we're all pretty fast, and we're just like choking on it behind him. Like, see ya, Lauren.
It just doesn't make sense how they hit corners. When you're watching them, like, top of the trail is the only time you get to watch them ride. And you see him come into something, you're like, there is no way. That is like a flat corner. He's going 30 miles an hour, and that is like a 90-degree right. And just, he's gone. The physics don't make sense of how they can load the tires and then just explode out.
Accelerating out of the corner, not slowing down.
He's like, he texted me. He's like, thanks for having me out. I was really out of shape, and you really showed me how out of shape I was. And I was like, oh, you wrecked my entire ego. I'm going to make the bootleg pedalier this year just so I can have a chance. It's going to be a cross-country race this year. Sorry, Lauren. Listening to your Unpacking the Athlete interview, you did some training with Rob and ended up having like a really good Iceman result. I don't know what year it was. We'll pretend like it was last year.
I think we'll backdate it at 2 mechanicals prior. So, 3 years ago, I think, is what we're coming up on. But, yeah, I mean, that was my first training experience or with a coach and everything. He did a phenomenal job. You know, I just reached out to him off on the side, and we connected. And, you know, he put forth a good program. What I did wrong, and, you know, it kind of towards the end of the season, nothing that he did, shout out Rob, but I made the mistake. Obviously, this is the best time of year to start riding, right? I mean, especially if you're a big horse, you don't like anything over like 60 degrees. So I had no power, meter, very basic when it comes to anything that I had at the time. And so I just decided to Zwift in the garage for September, August, up until the race. And so, like, by the time I got into peak to peak and Iceman, like, I hated biking, just because I was in a garage just grinding it out. But had a great result. And after that, I think I was just kind of like burned out. Huge fat biker, and I just didn't even want to get on the bike for a while. So hindsight, I probably would train with power outside, doing it again. But, it's kind of been a long road back to the glory days.
What does a program look like functionally? Are you getting rides every day or efforts you need to put in, or what does that look like?
Dude, you go from riding happy 3 times a week with your buddies and crushing beers afterwards to like 5 days a week, sometimes 6 of like either zone 2, like you're sitting there just kind of mindlessly pedaling for 2-3 hours just looking at a screen, or your heart's in your throat for an hour and a half, mixing it up a little bit. But yeah, it was probably pushing 5-6 days a week towards the end there.
I like this current training plan I'm on where I just go to the gym a couple of times a week, and then I have fun with my friends, and I still get trophies. I think that might be the key.
You got me sold. So for those that don't know, I went to my first CrossFit class today. Thank you. And you wiped the floor with me. It was a humbling experience. I went home. I told my wife I'm selling all the bikes. We're selling the house. I'm building the barn, and I'm just going to do watts all day long.
It was kind of a weird one today, but it was fun. There was like a good strength component where I got to feel like a big sissy because I'm not good at front squats, and I don't like going upside down on my hands. So it was a little awkward there. But then it was a cardio challenge, and like everyone in the classes that I go to always make fun of me typically because I'm like the cardio king in the gym. And
could tell. I could tell.
Brandon came off the first 2 implements faster than I did.
I didn't know what I was doing or how to pace myself. So
I was going to say, is that a pacing thing? Or?
Yeah, for sure.
It was a good time, though. We've had a few people that have been on or listened have come out, but You embraced it more than they did. Nick Slayton and Nick Garrison had a really good time, but they didn't embrace it, I would say, as much as you did, where you're like, yes, I want to do this again.
Well, you get there and you see the scenery and you're like, yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm going to try harder.
You're talking about the rogue weights and like squat racks.
No, well, I mean, just the view of
equipment.
downtown.
Yeah.
You know, the garage
Founders
is
is
open.
there.
Sure. That's the all
The
motivating.
beautiful amphitheater they got going in. Yep.
Yep.
It's a talented group there.
Very talented.
You've done like everything over the years. You played a ton of sports in high school. You played football in college. You played rugby like I did. You played, or not played, because this is definitely not playing. Used to beat the shit out of people in UFC. And
Playing around.
playing patty cake with people's faces.
Playing all that. It's like, yeah, cat and mouse. We were playing cat and mouse and just kind of bop them on the head a couple times.
Obviously, you like the challenge of like excelling in new sports, and like I'm assuming that's what kind of drives you to excel in all these different sports. Like, what's drawn you to mountain biking from these other sports where you've like really excelled in?
So I think, you know, with your first, you know, question or whatever, it's just an addictive personality, you know, and I think once you find something, it's all or nothing, you know. So if you don't like it, you obviously move on and move on quickly. Biking immediately, and I started mountain biking in Toledo, Ohio, of all places, where there's one trail. It's actually really in the ghetto. Bullet holes like in the signs and stuff like that. So there's an inherent danger, which is the number one thing, right? It's got to kind of check 3 boxes for me going forward. Inherent danger, it gets you outside and it keeps you in shape. So if you can find something that checks those 3 boxes, I'm in.
And the garage doors open today was enough.
Inherent danger of side eyes, outside,
Getting caught.
getting fit. Yep.
Yeah, I got to ask you about the Ultimate Fighter stuff or the UFC did. You did pro, semi-pro? What's
Yeah, essentially it was pro. I mean, they were considered pro fights.
so they're
I think
sanctioned
Yeah.
fights?
Yep. Well, as sanctioned as you can get in a Chicago hotel lobby or Hammond, Indiana. But yeah, I mean, they were sanctioned. That really just originated from, so after college, I was done playing football. Just on weekends with my buddies, we would rent the UFC fights at the time, and we didn't have anything to do besides going to the gym. And it was just like, this is back when Yellow Pages or phone books were there. So we're like, oh, let's find a jiu-jitsu gym, you know? So my one buddy was very similar to me. We both, you know, played football. We were roommates. And so we combed through the Yellow Pages drunk on a Saturday night during a UFC and found a gym on Monday. And we went in there, and it was branded as a Krav Maga gym, which is like Israeli martial arts, right? So they're out front, you know, kind of training, you know, like these slow motion movements of like stealing a knife or a gun from somebody. But in the back, if you knew, it was where the fighters were. And so there was a progression, like you had to be proficient enough at jiu-jitsu, then you got to do the kickboxing class, and then you got to get into the fighter room. So we did that for a couple months, worked our way through, you know, the classes, and kind of got the invite to go back there. And then after like 6 months of getting beat up, I was like, hey, I turned to my buddy, I go, if we're going to do this and kind of get beat up, like, I'm going to compete. And he's like, you're crazy. And I did. I absolutely blacked out in my first fight. Don't remember a thing to this day. It was filmed.
Is that because you got knocked out, or just don't remember? It was just a blur.
Just a blur. I ended up winning pretty good, but the guy that I was standing across from looked like an absolute specimen. I was scared for my life in that first fight. So I think I just, again, bell rung, ran out to the middle, just threw him to the ground and got on top of him and just started swinging for my life because I didn't want this guy to get up. And yeah, ended up knocking him out, and that's all she wrote.
Yeah, I think that'd be one of the scariest things ever, just to go in a cage knowing someone's there to knock you out. And that's the only way you're leaving, if you knock him out or He knocked you out.
For $150 for that first fight. Yeah, $150. So that was an amateur fight. They still paid, a little bit for showing up to cover your expenses or whatever. I mean, it bought my trainers beers,
Paid for your gym that week.
Yeah, exactly. But then, after that, I had 10 total fights. The last one, and I think I told this story on Rob's, is like...
That's where your wife came, right?
Yeah. So I was doing pretty good and had a good progression. My gym was loaded with talent, like at the time, like UFC talent. We had 4 or 5 fighters that were regularly in the UFC that I was training with all the time. And so I was getting to the point that I was getting my shot. I was going to fight actually in the IFL, which was kind of like, at the time, the team feeder league into the UFC. And getting ready for that fight, I broke a rib 2 days before in training. So that fight got canceled for me, but ended up switching who I was dating during that fight in my next one. And this is my current wife, so shout out Kate. But when I started dating her, like, priorities changed a little bit. I wasn't so angry at the world, and she softened me up, and I still invited her out to a fight and got my ass kicked. I had to cut 20 pounds in like 3 or 4 days because I got the call so late. And the guy I ended up fighting was like this hillbilly from St. Louis. He weighed in. This was a fight at 205. I was about 220, 225. Cut down to make weight. He weighed in at like 183. So he was not a big kid.
Yeah.
How did you lose 20 pounds?
It's naughty. Well, I was never a wrestler.
Okay.
So wrestlers cutting weight is the most amazing thing. Like, how you do it is crazy. But you basically just sit in a sauna, sweat it out, don't eat, don't drink. Like, you feel like absolute shit. My work, actually, I was working for a publicly traded company at the time.
Oh, no.
That
in
was
an office?
In an office. An office of 800 people. It was I'm still in logistics brokerage, but it was like an airport hangar. There was like 800 people in that office building. They allowed me to sit in trash bags, sweating, so I could lose the weight for the fight.
Business casual.
Yeah.
With a tie.
Yeah. Did you have a tie on with your trash bag?
Flip-flops just so I could drain out the sweat's draining out the bottom by my ankles there.
They just move your desk into the bathroom. Yeah. We don't want to clean up.
Not cleaning up after this guy. But, and that also happened to be St. Patrick's Day weekend, which in Chicago is a huge deal. And I was probably a little overconfident at the time, riding high on new love. And we had friends coming into town, and I didn't want to miss out. A little FOMO of everything that weekend. So I proceeded to tell myself, like, I could drink from 8 to noon and I'd be fine. And cut myself off.
This is the most Chicago thing I've ever heard.
Totally. Probably had an Italian beef sandwich on my way out to the fight. And it was just my wife and I didn't have any friends for this one. I show up, and, I just get absolutely crushed. I went to the wrong corner in the second round. Like, didn't know where I was at, but...
Hey.
Got a little more than $150 on that one, so I spent it on my new girlfriend. She thought I was so cool.
She hung around for a little bit after that?
Yeah. Great. 15 years now? I mean...
Oh.
Dude,
that's how you knew she was the winner.
Yeah.
Like,
she's like, I want to birth this guy some kids.
It's funny. Your kids. I invited you. I was like in the middle of a ride on Sunday, and I was like, "Hey, if you're not doing anything, I'm doing a 36-mile mountain bike ride for no apparent reason." And you're like, "Oh, I'm at a hockey game." And then I saw your story later of your kid wearing the wrong jersey to a hockey game. 3 of the people that I saw at the gym today that like came up and talked to us, I think we're sizing you up for the 8th day team. They're like the champions of the league every year because everyone looks like the coach of the class today. And the other guy that came up that are all like, your size or bigger. It's the most intimidating hockey team in the like local area.
Let's go. I mean, it's time to find something new. It's like every 5 years there's a new itch, right?
It's inside. like I don't think they play pond hockey.
No, it'd
That
be a
might not-
hobby then, right?
Yeah, it doesn't scratch your 3 boxes that you were talking about.
Well, it might start with, can you skate?
No.
Is a good question.
No.
Okay.
So my 7-year-old just started his second week of hockey, so I'm now the 3rd best skater in the family. So my regular hockey player, my 7-year-old now after 2 weeks of skating, and then myself.
What was the guy's name in Mighty Ducks where he couldn't skate, but he was good at beating people up?
I just know he's a Bash brother. Right?
Yeah.
The Bash
Bash Brothers.
Brothers.
And there's a whole movie called Goon
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
That's a,
Stifler, right? Yeah.
There's a bunch of good movies about that. But I do appreciate, or we all probably do, honestly, your kid wearing the wrong uniform to the thing. Because we consistently, maybe not on purpose, but maybe on purpose, wear the wrong shit to go ride with other people.
Yeah.
I want to be a station wagon that beats a Porsche. That's like my goal in life all the time. So if I can look like a fat ginger slob and then like beat people at things, that makes me happy. So I really appreciate your son going out there in an orange jersey when everyone else is in black.
It kind of was easy to spot, right? But the whole like funny sports parent for us was last summer my son was playing on a travel baseball team. And to no fail, he showed up in the wrong jersey for every game. And they had 3 different jerseys. So if they were wearing like red, he would show up in like hot pink and like turquoise. And the parents it became a thing, right? Where he's just kind of the ringer, right? Out there in a different uniform. And they're just like, what the hell?
You got to be good if you dress different.
I was gonna say, he's already worried about scouts. Making sure he
Look at
gets
me,
seen.
look at me.
Yep.
His NIL money's like going up as we speak. He's 7, right?
It was the older one.
Oh, okay.
Just a little more aloof, right? We blamed it on him just not knowing, but really it was probably mom and dad not checking the schedule.
So let's see. We've been through college football. We've been through MMA. Where do bikes come in? Where does that start for you?
Not so much right now. Ask my team. Nowhere to be found in the local races here right now. No, I absolutely I am struggling to the point now I'm having conversations with my wife. I'm like, I'm going to quit my job. I'm just going to ride my bike now because I miss it. But I am coaching, or I was coaching, both of my boys in football. My daughter plays pretty competitive soccer. We've got hockey. We had all of the things, right? And then, of course, I'm going through some work stuff where we had a giant workforce reduction in the last month and a half. So bikes are on the back burner for the first time in 6, 7.
Oh, I can tell your kids are like middle
Oh
school
my
age.
God, dude, I'm telling you, that is the most annoying thing of all time.
Can we bring an oldest kid and put Brandon on one of your bikes, Craig, and take him to Boyne Highlands and just renew the faith and fun?
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Absolutely.
Because you
That's
guys
what
are
it
about
needs
the
to
same
be.
size.
Oh, we'll put them on the downhill bike.
Yeah, put him on the Norco. You can just run over stuff. It doesn't even matter.
It's Kellen's dirt bike without a motor. It's 8 inches of travel, and you can do no wrong.
and an access trailer.
And a dropper post for some reason.
Hell yeah. No, I got on a 120, I think a 120. So Rockford Bike Shop, mine was destroyed, and they were like, hey, ride this Allied. We just got in
Oh, those
the
are
shop.
nice.
Dude.
The BB40s or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that was actually the last race and ride, but I took it up to Ortashore and Marquette, and I'm like, I don't even care if I go fast. I just want to go brap a couple times, that's how inexperienced I am, because I yell brap still because it's fun and cute.
Oh, we all do.
If you can still breathe, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a hard word to get out when you can't breathe.
On your left, brap.
We are in the more suspension is better group here. Sneakily, we ride XC stuff and gravel and all that crap, but when it all comes down to it, ripping a turn is so much more fun than getting a KO up a climb.
Oh, yeah.
So we just like to smile and listen to good music and stuff. And I think you're a big candidate for We took former guest Robbie, who will listen to this, that we saw his band play last night. We took him downhilling. We put him on my old Fuelie X, Des Moines Highlands, and he had a blast. He's like, why have I not been doing this? Why do I only have a cross-country bike and a gravel bike and a road bike? Like, why did this happen? And then he bought another road bike 2 days ago.
You can't be a lead-out moto guy and buy a road bike. Robbie, shame on you.
And then he also bought me a new brake lever because he found a tree with my bike.
I would need the motocross like bash guards, for the hands for sure.
Lauren rides with those, and I want to make fun of him for it, but I can't because he's so much better at biking than I am.
And they also make a lot of sense.
Yeah, you'd have to catch him to make fun of him.
Yeah. It's hard to make fun of someone when they're sitting at the bottom having a beer before you get there.
Just give me the Kawasaki green ones.
That was my first mountain bike, Huffy White Heat.
Yeah, all right.
We're about the same age, so I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about.
I do, for sure.
White with black splatter on it and neon yellow Kawasaki Enduro guards on there.
My God, we might have had the first bike too. Same first bike.
Yeah, the whole thing with Brandon is we got a couple requests to have him on. They're like, you got to have this guy on. I think you'd really get along with him. He's pretty much into the same stuff you are. He is a bigger, better looking, faster version of you. you should have him on and talk to him about bikes and stuff. And then I listened to your interview and I'm like, rugby, yep. Bikes, yep. Getting beat up, yep. And all these things lined up, and then I'm like, oh, we're the same age, really close. That was like, oh yeah, this is someone we have to have on the podcast. Drinking beer.
Gingers unite.
Is there any ultimate frisbee in your past?
No, but I used to throwing the bee quite a bit, at the beach in Chicago.
Yeah, that's what I did after I blew out my basically head biking and playing rugby. I was the coach at Grand Valley for 10 years.
No kidding.
And I played club and traveled around the country playing ultimate. That was my release from not being able to play rugby anymore because I'd get knocked out if I got hit hard.
That's pretty fun. I don't think I could run that fast anymore.
Yeah,
no way.
Yeah, it's not worth doing anymore.
If you don't know what ultimate frisbee is, definitely go look up top 10 highlight catches because there's some wild stuff that goes down. Is it a pitch?
Those
Is it
catches.
a field?
So those catches look like when you have the dog competitions at the end of a dock, and you throw it, and the Labrador jumps 100. That's what those people look like when they catch those frisbees.
Yeah, if you're a border collie, you got a leg up in the sport, I'd say.
That's the ringer.
Yeah. If you've ever seen the movie PCU with Jeremy Piven, they did bring a border collie in to win the match in the thing.
Is it like Air Bud, but for frisbees?
For 1980s people, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I'm rewatching Entourage right now, and I'm on it's my fourth time through the series, and I just love Jeremy Piven's character. And every time he talks and goes way out and is slamming beers in the series, I'm like, oh, PCU is the best. And I'll probably rewatch that for the 100th time.
I don't know. I'm getting on the Air Bud train. That brought up some good memories. And then there's Air Bud receiver.
Yeah.
Football one.
There's basketball. There's football. What else is there?
Oh, I don't have kids. I'm missing out on all this.
Yeah, I watched it before I had kids.
I'm pretty sure they sent Air Bud to space. There's definitely they got that far off the plot that they started just pulling ideas out of a hat.
So when you first walked in, Brandon, you started to tell us the story about how you got hit on for the first time in a decade, and then we were like, stop. You need to tell us on the podcast about this story.
That story came up after what comment, Kellen?
What was it?
I told him he looked like a jacked Aaron Gwynn.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a compliment I will take.
He's real fast.
And probably one that I'll take more than the lady at the grocery store. So it was 2 weeks ago. So mind you, I have not been hit on in a decade. So if you're out there listening, if you see me, just hit on me, make me feel good. But I was in the grocery store, and I was in the spice aisle, and I was really so I have OCD. I love vacuum lines, love cleaning my house. and I'm in the spice rack, and somebody must have just stocked it and moved all the labels out. And it was beautiful. And I was looking for one particular item for far too long, appreciating like all the labels. And a lady between 70 and 80, she goes, in a sultry voice, mind you, "Oh, you must be the cook of the family." And I turn and look, and I kind of like chuckled and laughed, and I'm like, "Not really, but you know, I'm the griller. My wife's a pretty good cook." And she goes, "Oh, wife, bummer." And so we start just talking about spices for like only probably about 10 seconds, but in my mind it was years. And we leave opposite directions from the aisle, and 3 aisles later we come again, and she goes, "Well, hello there again." And I'm like, yo, like first time was kind of just cute. Second time I'm like, all right, I'm getting hit on. Then I forgot something, so I worked my way back to the produce aisle where she magically is again. You always start in the produce aisle, right? As you walk into a grocery store, and then kind of loop your way around. I forgot something, and she was there again. And she goes, "I just have to tell you something." And I'm like, "Oh, shit." And she goes, "You remind me of somebody." So I'm trying to think of like who she's going to say. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, who's that?" And she goes, "It's just your aura, your energy."
Orangea.
Yeah, Orangea. And she goes, "Are you Dave Portnoy?" And I'm like, oh my, at least she didn't say Carrot Top, right? But
Conan.
Dave Portnoy, like funny as hell, but like gross, like just whatever. And that's what she came up with. And she was 70 to 80. And like, I'm like, "How do you know Dave Portnoy?" And she goes, she said effing. She's like, "I fucking love him." And I'm like, "I'm not Dave Portnoy, but thank you." And she's like, "Go blue." And that's how it ended. I went home and immediately told my wife, I'm like, "I got hit on. Here's how it happened." And I liked it.
I was waiting for a cinnamon to the checkout line. Come on down.
Dave Portnoy. I don't know how you can watch him on video at any point and associate your height with that dude.
I mean, I must have been hungover in the grocery store, like whatever, because like he just looks like a hot mess. So I'm like, this is not a compliment right now, but I'm going to take it and run with it.
So in an alternative universe, you go, "Absolutely, I'm Dave, nice to meet you. Do you want to go rate a pizza with me?" And you walk down the street and you one bite with the old lady and you make her entire life.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, for her age, and she was put together, she was cute, dressed well, like it wasn't all that bad, you know? I saw my future.
I'm pretty positive when I say this that I doubt she's a listener to this show. But if you're out there, Cinnamon, come on down.
Hey, if she listens to
us a
Portnoy,
message.
there's a chance she's tuning in.
She look like a big mountain biker out there.
She definitely wears baggies.
Yeah, she should.
She had Depends in her cart, you know. Needs the baggie. Can't be rocking spandex with that.
Too many jokes came to mind that I shouldn't say. I don't want to edit myself out. I do a good job of not doing that.
Depends on what angle you're going.
Oh, but so I guess this has been rattling around in my brain a little bit. What is the most fun you have ever had on two wheels?
Most fun. I would have to just pick any trip to Bentonville.
Big Bentonville fans in this podcast.
Yeah.
2/3 of us.
2/3? Who's the anti?
Dude, I just haven't put in the time to get down there and plan a trip. A 120 bike is the machine for Bentonville?
For parts of it, you bring 3. You bring all the bikes and you do all the things.
Okay.
But
Sounds like I need an e-bike is really what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
the
I'll
thing.
double down on this. The most fun on two wheels. So I went down to Bentonville for Little Sugar gravel race 2 years ago, and the next day, one of my teammates, Danny, he knows too many people, all the people, and he got us hooked up the next day on fat bikes, and we went to Kohler, and dude, I've never had so much fun in my life.
Some haters like heads just exploded.
That's okay.
An fat bike.
I'm one of them. I'm like, mistakes were made.
I don't care, because I thought I was a hater as well, but like I was so smoked from the race, like I wouldn't have rode that day, and I got on this thing and I giggled, like I audibly like had so much fun.
It's not the E where minds are blown. I'm assuming Kellen's mind's blown too. It was the fat bike part.
Yeah, well, that's all that was available, and that's what we took.
So what made it so fun? Was it the ride characteristic of the fat bike, or like?
It was like 120 pounds. So like it was just like you had no control of like where you wanted to take that thing, and I think the tires were like not inflated enough.
You're not feeling any of the trail.
No.
Let's be honest.
No. And I think it had like 130, 140 travel on it, so it was just like a big slop nugget.
Front and rear, or
It was at least front. Who cared at that point? It had a full battery on turbo.
That sounds like an absolutely wild contraption that I'm going to look up immediately after we get done with
Yeah.
this.
Lemire, I think it was Lemire Cycles was there, and that was kind of who was there. But
we're big e-bike fans amongst us.
Despite none of us owning one.
We will someday.
Someday.
We're just waiting for the right one.
I think I'll join you on that someday.
You just get so much more smiles per mile than you do on like a regular bike that it makes it fun.
I'm assuming you've been to Kohler. Like, who wants to climb that same stupid climb all the time to get to the top, but you then go down and...
What do you go down on a fat bike?
I mean,
Like,
just
I need to know this.
Stupid, the stupid blue with the berms, whatever it is. I don't know the name
Fire
of the
line?
trails.
The jumps, like little tabletops and the big berms.
Yeah, I think that might have been the black one. I was off to the side a little.
Oscar's
Windrock,
Loop?
Windrock maybe something.
We usually do a lot of laps on like cease and desist and like drop the hammer. Like
Yeah, I figured as much.
they all got to take e-bikes up. Well, you didn't.
I
did you?
didn't. No.
It was everyone but us.
Yeah.
That tends to be a theme of places we go. I was just talking to someone about Canoga, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna rent an e-bike there," and I'm like, "That's gonna be the best time you've ever had." But Kellen and I are stupid and stubborn, and we climbed that fucking hill 14 times for
Oh
no
my
reason.
Oof.
800 feet or whatever it was, over and over and over again. But we outlasted those damn e-bikes because they killed their battery 10% every time, so they only got 11 runs with charging for lunch. We did 14, so F them.
So here's an existential debate question.
Oh.
If you were to purchase an e-bike, are you going for an SL, which is the super light, generally less torque coming out of the motor, smaller battery, way lighter, typically 5 to 10 pounds lighter, or you going with the full gas, like, I want to use the DJI stuff, but that is leaning more towards SL level than full power e-bike. But that is a question that has plagued me. I spend entirely too much time on Pink Bike, shopping for things that I cannot afford. But it's so fun to look around, and that is the big question: is if you're gonna get an e-bike, which way do you go?
I was never, not by choice, but just never was a moto guy. So like as close as I can get to toeing the line, just so I can be like, yeah.
So you're firmly in the SL camp.
Yeah.
No, he's firmly in full power.
He's getting a Surah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I stand
want it.
correct.
I
You want the
the
DJI.
power. Yeah.
dude, DJI did something wild. They ship all these bikes with this brand new Avanox motor, and you have to, there's a mode in the settings. They like flash an update to the bikes, and now you can go in and like acknowledge that you're breaking the law on trails.
Come
And
on.
it unlocks like way more power than I've ever been on a pedal e-mountain bike.
Mitch Bray, timer of the bootleg race in my bike, he unlocked his Santa Cruz, and it goes 30.
30 uphill.
Yeah.
Come on. You guys are going to get me kicked off all these cross-country teams and gravel races.
I mean, if you want to keep wearing spandex.
Not right now with these legs. Not until I hit that CrossFit gym a couple more times.
I need to tone up a little. But riding with him is a pain. And Mark Deering, I'm going to call you out on this podcast, Mark, and I know you'll listen, is also jailbreaking his new pivot bike that he has and adding the 30-mile-an-hour mode because he doesn't like it when we can pedal away from him on places like, not that he rides on State Game area, but if he did, we'd pedal
illegally.
away.
Mark, are you riding illegally at State Game?
In the Dragon, we can drop him when he's bouncing off that 20 limiter in a couple spots. He doesn't like that.
I'll call out Mark Deering. Mark Deering, for years. Mud Sweat Beers, 2021. 2021? Yeah, probably about that time frame. So I was just starting getting fast, but I was also very stupid. I was like, I'm going to go for this whole shot. So, you won it was kind of like a preem inside the mountain bike race for hitting the whole shot. And I was like, I'm going to go for it. And, I knew I was going to blow up. I've done this a couple of times. Like I did this at Barry-Roubaix when I just wanted to be in the front of the pack to get the picture from Rob, climbing up the thing. I fucking nailed it. That picture is amazing. But then I promptly blew up for the rest of the race, knowing I paid whatever the entry fee is just to be at the front of the race and be like, yeah, see that?
That's an expensive photo, my
Yeah,
friend.
it was. Rob may have slid it to me and said, this is beautiful. Thanks for riding with me every once in a while. But Mark Deering, going back to Mud Sweat Beers, I was like, I'm going to take this whole shot and give everything I got to beat Jordan Wakely. And I was joking. I might have tied Jordan Wakely for the whole shot, ruined the rest of my race. But as soon as I got that, I sat up, and Mark Deering still tells the story how he chased me out of the woods at Mud Sweat Beers and was so close, and that always irks me. So if you're listening, Mark.
He will listen. He will give me a critique on the audio quality in his very hollow van. So when people talk low and then talk loud, it's terrible in a Sprinter van.
Okay.
And he's only got 2 speakers in the front, and he gives me a critique on every episode of how the audio quality is per episode.
Damn it, Mark. I'm never renting your house again.
We will be there, last weekend, as according to this episode when it comes out, finishing up that skills park that we started at his place and doing the pivot demo, which I don't think they'll have e-bikes, but because they're not allowed on the Dragon.
Transition didn't give a flying heck.
But Merrill, they're allowed.
Oh, you're right.
Dragon, they're technically not allowed unless you're filming. Then we made an exception, or you're doing trail work.
Or you're really want to get into some Facebook drama.
Yeah. You want to find Lane.
I wouldn't mention that dude's name. That is a
Maybe he'll share our podcast.
spicy meatball I don't want to bite into. Long story short, this dude got run into by an e-biker on the Dragon.
Okay.
And is definitely a litigious individual.
We got banned from riding through county parks, and he's got banned from. He had to sell his house in Arizona.
What initials?
LM.
Oh, I'm familiar.
Yeah, it's lore around here.
Dude, this guy's been going
rounds.
for 15 years.
Yeah. And he gets smoked by everyone all the time at everything that he does. And he thinks he's fast. I actually got into a huge fight with him when the Merrill grand opening was, and I had 175 comments on my side. He sent me a message to call off the dogs on this side.
Yeah.
I made a comment about the jumps and not leaning back, don't get bucked over. And I'm an instructor. I get paid to teach people how to ride mountain bikes. It's not uncommon for me to just give a little advice, and he jumped down my throat and I jumped down his throat. And I don't usually publicly engage with anyone.
Yeah.
And man, that whole thing blew up. It was on the day that when all the loop, when they got the revamp, like came back out, and everyone jumped on my side. And he like sent me a message on the side like, call off the dogs. Like, why did you get all your friends to like jump on me? I'm like, I didn't say anything, and you're wrong, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Nobody likes you.
Basically, and I didn't even like, I'm not even going to give you the satisfaction of a response, basically. Like, I had one slight response, and then he went like he wanted to engage with me, and I'm like, you're below me. I'm not responding to you. Like, I'm a professional, and you're just some dude that can't ride bikes.
He slid up into my DMs trying to get into it one time when it spilled over from a public conversation. And
Lane did. Wow.
Yeah, slid into my DMs.
This
And
is
he
the first
wasn't
time-
70 or 80, and he didn't think I was Dave Portnoy. So, no
So
time.
you opened that DM? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Click
kidding.
delete.
That's the first time he's ever come up on the podcast. And Courtney, even my girlfriend, has a side YouTube account so she could like watch all the drama when he's like fighting in court and stuff. Her and a couple of our other friends can't get enough of him being stupid, like posting all his like trial stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Well, if you just say big words, then it sounds like you know what you're talking about when it comes to legal matters, right? I sound like Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny. I know bird law.
Speaking of birds, this is going to take this for a weird moment.
I'm so ready for this.
Have you seen or watched or heard about the documentary like of the bird watchers on YouTube?
No.
No.
All right, so I got down a weird rabbit hole, and there was just like the best documentary. I guess it's free on YouTube, and I just need some time to go watch it. But you said birds, so I was curious to see if you've.
I have not, but it sounds like it beats the heck out of the octopus documentary on Netflix. This dude, like,
My Octopus Teacher?
yeah,
Yeah.
it might be hard to beat though.
Whew. I made my kids watch it with me because it was intriguing for the first half, and then it dies. Spoiler alert.
Did you cry?
Yeah, I kind of got choked up.
I teared up.
Yep. Not gonna lie.
Is this an actual octopus? Like I am. This is all over my head.
I love octopus and squid, so they're pretty high up. They're like right below otter for me. I can't deal with an octopus dying.
So your animal hierarchy goes otter, octopus, squid.
Squid's above octopus, but
Oh,
it's in
so-
that.
sorry,
it's
my
around
bad.
there.
Octopi are so
Marmot.
much smarter. They're so much
Nah,
smarter. They
squids communicate with changing colors.
Dude, have you ever? There are a lot of theories out there that octopus are actually aliens brought to this planet because they do not share any DNA with any other animals on the planet. And I'm out of my depth right now. That is definitely an ocean joke right there, but
They taste equally as good.
Ooh. Ooh. It hurts after watching that. I stopped eating so much calamari.
yeah,
That's a squid, not an octopus.
we're safe. You just can't go to Spain.
Marmots are up there too.
Marmots. But I have no idea what a marmot is.
It's the white little fox groundhog mix thing that you see at the top of the mountains. If you did something besides the chairlift at Whistler and rode up the hill on the other side, you'd see marmots.
Okay.
How did we become a National Geographic podcast? Like in the span of 2 minutes.
It started with Mark Deering.
Because he looks like a bear. No, animals are better than people a lot of the time. They're more fun to watch on YouTube and Instagram. And Courtney sends me TikToks. I don't even want to bring this up. But she sends me this thing of like dogs and cats doing like a podcast like this, like a video of them.
Okay.
Where like the one dog is asking the other dog what the hell he was doing when he's like running around scooting his butt on the floor and stuff. And I can't get enough of it. It's the first time I've ever been intrigued by TikTok, and I'm sad at myself for it.
My algorithm does not swing that way.
It can.
Should that be a new segment on the podcast? We
No,
make you
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I concur.
So I listened to, like, it was probably an algorithm forced thing making me feel all right about my algorithm, but it was discussing like your group chat and how that is like your Instagram group chats are the lowest denominator of your humanity. And it made a lot of sense. And I was disappointed in myself. But we're not going there.
But I've heard a theory that, like, we all have, I don't want to call them, like, urges, but it's like, you got to get that shit out. You know what I mean? So you can be a decent human being in normal everyday life. I sound like a monster right now. But hear me out. We all want to say some weird shit every now and then. And if you have a group of guys that you can just be like, hey, this. And then you're like, okay, I'm done. Now I'll answer Stacy on Microsoft Teams about the Q1 report. Like that, I think that's a healthy thing.
So what's your fake Instagram account called then that you let all
Dude, I got so many burners, you can't keep up with it.
The chat doesn't bother me so much, but nothing makes me feel worse than when I hit the magnifying glass on Instagram and it shows me what it thinks I want to see. And I'm like, oh man, I'm a piece of crap. The podcast one's even a piece of crap.
Who's got the login to the podcast one?
Well, Callan and I do. Craig technically does, but he doesn't use it.
I've never logged into it.
He's just saying that. He uses all the time for a side.
I'm the one out there liking all those weird videos.
So that was the running joke on the RAD team is Danny had it up and running and he was the one managing it, and forever and ever, Brian was always trying to get the login, right? And we're like, you can't have it because you're gonna like just use that as your burner account. You're gonna like get us off this weird path. And somehow Danny relented and Brian has it, and we no longer post anything, but like the likes that we have coming in from our content are like weird things. Weird things. Shame on you, Brian.
So this team, what team are you on? How are you involved? How'd you get involved?
So the team is RAD. People try to figure out what it means, so we mess with people all the time. It doesn't really mean anything.
What's the current 3-letter acronym stand for?
Red and delicious.
Really average dicks is actually where we're at with it. Because it started off as like the wives were like, oh, that's really cute, like really awesome dads, or random adventure dudes or something like that, you know? So like everybody's like, what is RAD? I mean, it was a movie in the 80s that was pretty sweet that we all love. And that's where it kind of like started, and it's always been tongue-in-cheek, right? The hope was to never really take ourselves too seriously and have fun with it. A couple people are getting a little too serious these days with it, buying road bikes and stuff. But yeah, it was always meant to be like funny, but it never really stood for anything, even though we just played on it.
Roadies are dicks.
Roadies are dicks.
I see you got the RAD tattoo on your arm and all that too.
I do. Yeah. I just wanted, so I had a thing where I thought I was going to get a tattoo in like every country I went or every trip that I went. Didn't really start on the front end of that and haven't kept up with it, but my daughter and I were in Amsterdam on our last day, and we were riding bikes around, which was really freaking cool because my daughter, of all of my family, doesn't love riding bikes like the rest of the family does. And of all things, she's up for anything. So we actually rode bikes in Amsterdam, which is kind of crazy if you're not used to it. And we had a freaking riot. So I got her a Starbucks because that's all she wanted in Amsterdam of all the cool things that we could have done. Like, you want to go to a coffee shop? You're 13. Like, I'll take you to a coffee shop because that's what they do here. And by coffee shop, you know what I mean.
I've seen Eurotrip.
Yeah, totally. So she just wanted to go to Starbucks. So I'm like, cool, you're going to go to Starbucks, and then we're going to get a croissant, and then I'm probably going to get a tattoo. And she was down for all of it. So, yeah.
Was she there when you got it?
Yeah, she sat there for like 2 hours while we picked it out and designed it and everything. She was a champ.
Drank her coffee.
Did she have a really big Starbucks? Like,
Well, I mean, it wasn't a coffee. It was a strawberry acai refresher or something like that. You know, I'm a dad. You know, we got to limit the caffeine.
So did you know what you wanted to get when you walked into the tattoo shop?
not.
No.
Didn't give a shit.
Talk to me about that, because that, to me, is a wild, wild move.
So I went in. I just was like, all right, like getting tattoos, you have to have like an appointment and work with the artist if you want something really cool, and it takes weeks to design. I'm like, all right, dude, here's like $200. I've got 3 hours. I want something. And then he was like, all right, here's a book you can look at. So I just was ripping through Flash Art. And I think it like, where it says RAD on the hat, it said like death. And I was like, that's a little aggressive. So I was like, hey, let's just take this and swap it out for RAD. And he's like, okay. So here we are.
And you're wearing a T-shirt with the skull on it. And the
Yes.
tattoo that you got is a skull.
I beat everybody to the punch. So now if they get this tattoo,
Dude.
they're posers.
Like Liquid Death copied it from you.
Yes. Yes. There may be some copyright infringement on our first logo too, but we won't talk about that. I think it was an internet search.
Does your teammates have the same tattoo?
No, and they're not allowed.
They're not committed.
Danny, don't get this tattoo.
I was thinking doctor.
Doctor, if he got a tattoo, I would finance it. I would do a lot of things to see that guy with the tattoo.
I have an alternative idea. So I just watched a YouTube video the other day. They bought a $150 tattoo gun set on Amazon.
Uh-oh.
Apparently it's not that hard. So you just buy the ink. You could start doling out RAD tattoos.
Not that hard to buy the gun or tattoo people.
I mean, it's just art. Like, how hard could that be?
How many tattoos do you have?
They do it in
Zero.
prison.
I'm totally kidding. I'm kidding.
So if you walk into a tattoo parlor, there's usually some intern or what apprentice, right? Usually doling out on a pumpkin back there, and it's like, ooh, they mess up, and there's a huge line over the crowd. So I would say it's a little harder than you would think.
I just learned the other day they make skin notebooks. Like, it's just notebooks that are supposed to simulate skin, and you can just draw on them.
Yeah.
I just learned that the other day on Instagram. It just came up my reel.
Listen, I still have some bad tattoos, but I've got plenty of bad ones where I would now want to vet them out a little bit. My second tattoo, not to be named where it's at on my body because I don't want people to look for it.
Unless you're 80.
The guy took, unless she's 80, at a grocery store. He tattooed me in all of my like haul in college, and you would trade this guy like a VCR or a TV, and he would give you a tattoo. So I got a really awful tattoo, and 2 weeks later, he's nowhere to be seen when another friend went to go get tattooed by him. Well, he never was licensed. He never was a real tattoo artist, which makes a lot of sense looking at mine. And he was thrown in prison for accepting bribes and no cash and all that stuff. So, yeah, man. So I basically have a prison tat on my upper back.
Oh, no.
Done with a big pen.
I mean, I take the bad tattoo over the prison sentence. If I'm going to pick what it takes to get a prison tattoo, I feel like.
I don't think many people know, but Brian has a giant tattoo that's unique, to say the least.
Thanks, Colin.
We're just throwing it out there.
Speaking of animals. Actually, my worst tattoo experience was I lived in Hawaii. I went to school in Hawaii for 2 weeks and then dropped out because it sucked. But I lived there for a long time and then like almost died and had to fly home. And I decided that I was going to get the Hawaiian Islands across my back the day before I flew home. Poor decisions were made because sitting forward in a plane for 14 hours really sucks.
Yeah.
Like a lot. And then the tattoo Kellen was talking about, I have a giraffe that goes from like my neck down to like mid-thigh. That's when I learned that I'm allergic to my skin reacts with the saran wrap they put on after a tattoo.
Okay.
And it doesn't come off. So we had to cut it off with a knife, and it was not pleasant.
Like it sticks to your body?
Yeah, like my skin fuses with it.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was like a 6 hour, or like the tattoo was fine. Getting the plastic they put on it over it was awful. Like I'd sit there while they like took a scalpel and like cut it off of my whole body. Like I have a picture in my Facebook memories of 15 years ago when I started this tattoo that's not currently finished, with the saran wrap stuck on me that I can't get off.
Oh my gosh.
Like normally you just pull it off, and like I feel like the ones on the back of my arms did come off and like just pulled off easy. And I can't remember the Hawaii one because I drank a lot of 151 before I went and did that.
Oh, good idea.
And I bled a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't even know where, when, how. I don't know any of the details about it. We had a fight club that night, and like I got the shit beat out of me also later that night. So it was a very wild day in my life. So like the plane ride home was just me sitting home sulking with a black eye. But the giraffe one, I definitely remember trying to get this damn plastic saran wrap off my body for like hours and hours and hours, and having someone be like, "Does that hurt?" Yeah, you're cutting me with a scalpel.
So you got a tattoo, saran wrap. You went to a Hawaiian fight club and drank 151.
Yeah.
That sounds better than my UFC fighting trajectory. I'm sorry.
No, I have.
You had to lose no weight, and you got to get after it.
I'm definitely not good at losing weight.
It all depends on how much you value $150.
Hey, $150 is $150. Ask the lady in the grocery store.
Yeah. The last episode, the Hot Wings episode, we talked about a really bad time for $20 for some ghost pepper extract that I took a shot of. That whole like cash incentive thing really goes far in life, and I don't appreciate how much I value that. Still, as an adult with like a real job, that I'll still do basically anything for $5.
And there's people that enjoy like being the entertainment for the group. Like we all have those friends that would do anything just because you're like, dude, you won't.
Hold my beer.
And Luke is like, oh yeah, I'll definitely take a shot of that expired milk. And like, we all have a Luke, you know?
My biggest takeaway from this show is Brian will do anything for $5.
Don't get any ideas. I go on enough road trips with you that this could be a poor choice to share.
So what's next for you, man? You got a bunch of kids in sports. Like, what's on the horizon? What's got you excited over the coming year or years?
Spin class is keeping my hopes and dreams alive for Iceman this year.
Is that better or worse than Zwift?
Dude, it's way better.
The views are nicer?
Yeah. Well, I'll pull it back a little bit. So Alex Lloyd, who you ride with, right, for the Cannonsburg rides, Rogue Racing Team. His wife on Wednesdays does a spin class. Shout out to MVP Fitness. She's amazing. And she is single-handedly keeping my Iceman hopes alive because football ends the 25th. I've got 1.5 weeks to prepare. Let's throw down. I mean, I can't not do it, but we'll see.
And are you in a pretty good wave just because you've done it in the past?
Unfortunately, I'm in wave 1.
Oh.
Yeah. Hopefully wave 2 or 3 this year because I did have 2 mechanicals the last 2 years and just kind of limped it in. So hopefully I get to pull back a little bit. But, like, I just want to do it for fun to get back on the horse because the last 2 years have just been too damn stressful.
If you want to go out and do some training, I'm down to ride when you got time.
Let's go on 140 mil travel and soak those bumps up.
That's fine.
Deal.
I don't train on my bike. I just have fun.
That's the name of the game.
Have fun, get trophies.
Inadvertently. With a tailwind.
No, if you want to go out and like do some riding, I'm doing some riding with George coming up.
Okay.
And I missed the last couple gravelation rides. The ones I did were 50-mile road rides where everyone averaged 20 miles an hour, and I had a 105 cadence on my mountain bike. And then I bought a gravel bike, and they're like, let's do mountain bike rides. I was like, what the hell?
So George's gravelation rides
Are a little wild.
Does he stick to what he says?
Never.
Unlike the Rogue
Never.
rides, when you show up
Never.
on Monday, this is a no-drop ride, and then everybody goes out like an a-hole. Like George is like, friendly, casual pace, drinks to follow. Like, I have a feeling it's pretty spicy.
I've always had drinks after.
Okay.
So I'll qualify it with that is that they're always still at the bar when I get there.
50% accuracy, yeah.
Generally, it's hard because like the couple I've done have been on a mountain bike, and everyone else besides. So the first time I did it, it was a 50-mile ride, and it was supposed to be endurance pace, and we averaged over 20 miles an hour, and I got dropped, but I got there like, I don't know, 6 minutes behind everyone else, so it wasn't like terrible. And then the next week we did it, and George was on his new mountain bike, and it was just me and him on mountain bikes, and everyone else on a gravel bike. So we get on that home stretch on the CBX route, and we both get dropped. And like we both showed up late, and like, did you save us a seat so we can get our beers? But yeah, that is not true advertising. It might as well be like a pharmaceutical commercial. Like, you may experience getting dropped,
Humiliated,
yeah,
emaciated.
crossing your front wheel, like.
And need a ride home after this.
What if banded rides were a real thing in real life?
That
So you get some like elastic bands with a bungee cord hook.
Yes.
That sounds like a good idea.
Like a team relay?
Yeah.
Like you have to partner up?
Like full on Talladega Nights slingshot engaged. You've got an elastic band. We'll pull this guy to the front.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. That's it, yeah.
I literally have like a bungee toe strap for my kids for pulling them up hills. Like, we can do this. We can make this work.
Banded rides. True no drop banded rides.
The pedals ride, I pushed one of the board members up the hill, and she was super stoked about it for the first 3 quarters of the hill, and then she wanted to pretend like she didn't like it at the end, which is my whole dating relationship.
Didn't like it at the end.
Pushed too hard.
You're right, Mom. You're not going to hear this one.
Craig's dying.
The first one to get the E explicit little sign in the corner.
No, there's a bunch of them. Everyone likes saying the F word just once, so I have to put the explicit on it. It's not friendly for kids except for Kellens.
There is no other word in the English language that communicates what that word communicates. I don't know. Can you think of a better one?
Twat waffle.
I love that word. That's how I know we're doppelgangers.
Twat waffles stands the test of time.
That's literally my favorite thing to yell at the TV when I'm watching football.
My kids are both going to say that word now.
What play would necessitate a twat waffle though?
Anyone that someone acts like a twat waffle.
No, is it like a defensive end with excessive celebration getting a 15-yard penalty? Is that a twat waffle?
No, I'd say it's more like Flacco throwing interceptions last week where he's getting like pawed at by Hutchinson and then throws an interception. You're like, haha, twat waffle.
That sums it up beautifully. We're talking that like massive fly ball.
Like you were cocky about that and then you just effed up real bad. I think that's twat waffle for me. Brandon, you just used the word in context. Could you explain what a twat waffle is to you?
I didn't see this podcast going in this direction.
No.
That's why it's fun.
Yeah. So twat waffle, I'm going to lie and say it's when Goff throws it to St. Brown and you just raise your hands and say twat waffle as a touchdown.
So it's a positive for you as opposed to a negative.
Yeah. Let's keep it there.
Well, based on Amon-Ra's celebration last week, where he said some nice explicit words into a camera, maybe next time we can get him to scream twat waffle directly into an NBC camera.
Monroe, if you're listening, say twat waffle.
It's funny because I have a friend that's really into the Dungeon of Doom podcast. He's like the photographer for MLive for the Lions and stuff. We could try to pass this on and see if we can get a twat waffle on the national broadcast.
Nothing would make me more proud.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
They have been crushing with the Sellies, though. I saw a bowling alley representation, and then most recently, I think there was Duck Duck Goose played. Mm-hmm. Was that after a pick?
That's when the best ones
That was
seem
the
to be.
defense. The defense always has a little bit more like, It feels spontaneous, but like they've been practicing that their entire
The stumble
season.
bumble one with Kirby Joseph throwing the pass. That wasn't planned.
Yeah, that was planned.
Did you see the Steelers receiver who ran a touchdown in and he faked like he was pulling a hammy?
Yeah, he copied that from Amonra.
And then Rodgers threw a pick, and he was the receiver chasing down the pick, and he pulled his hamstring.
He did pull his hamstring. Absolutely.
Unfortunate. Well, before we get too far down the football rabbit hole, because we all watch all the games, and most of our listeners are like, sports ball, blah, blah, blah.
I'll pull it back to bikes with sports ball. Hold on, because we'll talk about we shouted out 2 teammates, right, so far. So
You have more than 2?
We've got 5 total on the team, so 4 teammates. Brandon Bender, shout out to you in your sports ball, because this guy for 6, 7 here we go, 6, 7 years, riding with him on the team, he was the quintessential. Oh, you guys talking about sports ball? His kid gets into sports, recently with travel baseball. The guy went to a Tigers game this year. He bought a Tigers hat. He bought the MLB pass. We're like, dude, who are you?
His number 1 biggest fan.
What's worse, a bandwagon or an e-bike?
Oh, dude, I'm going bandwagon. I'm going bandwagon.
Oh, man.
I think he hates both. So this is going to be weird. I hope I solicit a phone call from him and be like, why are you talking about me on the podcast? Why are you telling my stories? And then, e-bikes suck more.
How do we suss out a bandwagon fan in football?
In any ball.
If they've
Any
ever
ball sport.
posted on their algorithm comes up with saying sports ball comments. Yeah.
He won't admit to it. I've been a Tigers fan the whole time.
Or do you just ask them, like, hey, what about this player? And they very clearly show facial signs of not knowing who the fuck that is.
You would have to do that. I swear this guy, I mean, he's to a T. Once he's in, right? Engineering type, he knows. I'm a sports ball fan myself, but he probably knows everybody's stats.
Yep.
He went to the Party Animals game at the Whitecaps. He's probably
we did too. It was fun.
He probably went to 10 Whitecaps games, a couple Tigers games. I'm like, dude, who are you right now? But he's still riding his bike, and I'm not, so he wins.
And you said you had one more teammate you wanted to mention?
Ted's new. He's new this year, so
Is he a replacement?
no replacement. We keep adding on. So this will be fun. So RAD started with Brian Doctor, his genius idea, and I truly think so. If we're gonna say RAD has an acronym, I think it did prior to me knowing the situation. Brian always would post out, very inclusive guy. He would post out I think random adventure rides, right? If he was going to ride his bike, he would just go on Facebook. Dude loves Facebook.
Rawr.
Boomer loves Facebook. And he would go out there and just be like, hey, I'm riding my bike at so-and-so. Anybody and everybody's welcome. And people would show up. And so how the team started, actually, and this is not part of how to start the team, but he had posted out randomly, hey, I have a cabin at Glacial Hills, fat biking in the wintertime. You don't need to give me anything, whatever. First 2 people to respond. And it was Bender and I. And we're like, dude, we're in, right? So I didn't know those guys. I raced against them. Brian beat me at peak to peak. 2016, 17, something, some old year. Hasn't beat me since. What up? But he had posted that out. So we were the takers, and we had gone up to Glacial and just showed up to this cabin, and we rode bikes for 3 days. I was god-awful fat biker at that time. Overdressed to the point where I overdressed so hard I couldn't even ride the bike that weekend, and it was beautiful conditions. But I was just too busy taking off clothes where those guys were like, dude, see you later. So I just went to shorts But we had a great weekend overall, and like 3 like-minded individuals as we walked into the bar to get seated. The lady was like, "Oh, are you guys brothers? 3 like-sized individuals," is what she said. So we were sitting there joking about it, and we're like, "Hey, we had fun. You guys riding with anybody? Like, do you want to start a team? Like, bro club, So we started that. Things were fantastic for 2 or 3 years. It was easy until Brian brought Danny in. He met Danny in a parking lot, I think, at DTE. Actually, I met Danny at a parking lot at DTE. This is how we added Danny. The pact was it was going to be the 3 of us, or like we weren't going to have a team. Because like 3 is a good number to have. You can make decisions, right? 2 versus 1, 3 all, whatever. Danny rolls up, and he had a RAD hat on, which we had just made. And he was like, "Hey, I'm Danny." And I'm like, "How the fuck did you get that hat?" Because I was like the team dick. Still am. And super nice guy, but we brought him in. So he has a unique set of skills, much like Liam Neeson in Taken.
That's all I can think of. As soon as you said that, that's all I can think of.
Danny, obviously, he's in the marketing space, and with his photography, his videography, like his social media skills, we're like, yeah, we need him. Take it to the next level. We're like 40 years old. We want to be so cool. So Danny joins the team. Now it becomes 2 versus 2 on like all the group votes, so we never get anything done. We still have fun when we got together. Insert Ted this year. Breath of fresh air. Thanks, Ted. He's kind of shaking up the vote a little bit. Ted's a strong rider. He had a couple off years, but he raced pro at Iceman, a couple of years prior, and he's been fun. He's reinvigorated a little bit of life. So, yeah, that's kind of the quick story about RAD.
Your whole time while telling the story, I was trying to come up with another thing for RAD. It was something. I need something for R and Danny. Like real men and Danny, or something and Danny.
Yeah, Danny is so. I hope he listens to this. Danny is like, I always gave him a hard time, but he's like my little brother on the team, and it works well. Like, he pisses me off absolutely the most, but like we have fun together to the point where like when I finished up that whole Rob training for Iceman, like I kind of got burned out from the normal races that I used to do. Prior to kids getting busy, I used to race like 30, 40 races like a season, like the whole CPS series and chasing all the things. Exactly. Like wasting, at the time it was like $20 a race, right?
Yeah.
Now it's not, but just chasing that CPS sport fat bike Clydesdale crown around, But Danny and I would take our RV, and we would go down we did Unbound and Mid-South, and so we had some goofy adventures together.
Is he the Michigan State to your Michigan?
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's Ohio State.
Oh, no. So what keeps you guys together? Like, what is that bonding agent that kind of keeps things rolling?
We're obligated to our sponsor contract. Just kidding, guys.
You don't mean that.
I don't mean that.
They like their checkered spandex.
Honestly, it's probably our internal Instagram group chat, because now if we break up and things get leaked, then we're shit out of luck.
There's so much blackmail.
Yeah.
I know the real Epstein list.
No, it's still got a lot of life in it, but it's fun to see, and I think you come into it, and you guys probably all experience this a little bit, is like people are on different paths during their biking career or whatever, their excitement level. Like as I was getting a little bit more comfortable and faster, and I just started to consume like all types of racing. So like, obviously mountain biking, then it started being like the gravel races, right? And I got intrigued by that. Then I started going out to Grattan. I was in like baggies in my 1x, like just trying to mix it up,
I know how that goes.
have fun with that. But like you couldn't give me enough biking content to consume, right? So I kind of I'm not over it, but like I'm busier enough. But like, Danny and Ted right now, Ted is coaching Brian and Danny, so like they're all in. So like their conversations within the group chat, is just kind of everything, and it's fun to see Danny kind of like learn more, be interested more, ask questions, but like he's like wheels, tires, frames, this, that, training, electrolytes. Like I'm like, dude, like you're exactly where I was at 3-4 years ago. So it's fun to see and help kind of coach through that a little bit. At the same time, I'm just not there right now.
Well, the nice thing about biking is like it's a sport that you can always come back to. Like there were times when I had a traumatic head injury and had to bow out for 3 years because I couldn't ride a bike. But it was there. I found it at the end of the tunnel. Like once life allowed it to happen again, it became the biggest part of my life again. And it's a sport that we have friends that are 70, 80 years old. They probably know the woman that hit on you in the grocery store. And I still enjoy riding with these people because they're so stoked to just like be out there riding a bike. And like some of them are on e-bikes, some of them are stubborn, we'll call it. But like we just all get out there and have a good time, and we all have beers after. We all grill some meat after, and like talk about how sweet it was. And that's this sport, and that's why we like this sport so much.
100%. And there's nothing better than the biking community around Grand Rapids area, right? So like I chose to live here specifically for the biking. So my wife and I were in Kalamazoo, and like this is kind of when the COVID shutdown happened. We were both working at a company, and they were way ahead of the curve with this, and they were just like, hey, you guys are going to go remote, like you're not coming back to the office for a year. This was like 3 months before people were working remote, and we're like, do we really want to be here? Because we spent all of our time in Grand Rapids, specifically Rockford. Like I was coming up to ride all the trails up here. So then I did, and then once you get around a little bit, this is a sweet biking community.
It's been a lot of fun getting to know you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been fun getting to know you guys.
Yeah, appreciate having you on. You got any socials, anything you want to plug before we let you go? Where can people find you?
My daughter specifically asked me to plug her Snapchat, and then I was like, no. And she was like, why not, Dad? Like, this is like, it's so cool. And I'm like, we're not going there. So we'll keep socials off this one. If you want to find me, you really know how to look.
Did you tell her it's Skibbity, Ohio?
Dude, that is so 18 months ago. You have no aura for saying that.
So beta.
So beta.
If you want to follow the treasure chest of social media, you got to do some digging. You got to work for this one.
Yeah, you got to find us RAD on Instagram. Brian's probably got Danny's login still. See what he's searching up. We'll be out there.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate everyone listening. Remember, guys, to keep progressing, keep pushing yourself, and have fun. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.